So, shameless self plug, though I guess if you're here listening to this, it's probably doesn't matter. I started streaming a lot more consistently recently, probably over the last 2-3 weeks. Twitch, YouTube, Kick. I might actually start doing a dual stream to a vertical platform when I do Kick streams, for instance. I'm thinking Twitter for now. I'm still waiting to see, I don't know, how to get TikTok to let me do lives. I would like to expand into that as well. Either way, I've been doing different content on different platforms. I feel like each one has its pros and cons. YouTube is obviously like the second biggest website in the entire world, and obviously the biggest website in the world when it comes to video content of any sort. Then you have Twitch, which is supposed to be very gaming focused. There's many other things there, good and bad. But, if you're a gamer, Twitch is kind of the automatic place to go. Also, there's good integration, for instance, from Xbox. When I stream Warzone or anything else, I just open up the guide, hit stream to Twitch, boom, it's there. And then I can open up the browser on my computer or even the app on my phone and monitor my chat and various other things with the stream. So that works out very well. Then you have a new up-and-coming service called Kick. Kick seems to be a pretty good balance of gaming and variety, chatting, just various things in general. There's IRL and all that. The neat thing with Kick being a smaller platform is it has to compete. So there's things it is doing right now that make a lot of sense for trying to compete with YouTube and Twitch and get itself more entrenched into that space, get more creators to be willing to put their work there, invest their time, and try to get their communities there as well. So besides just a kind of a cool layout, interesting emojis, and a theme that fits, that kind of space, the nerdy gamer, variety streamer, whatever it is, it has that image going for it, right? And so far from what I've seen, though don't quote me, there could be something I don't know about, really hasn't been a whole lot of other interesting drama with Kick. Like I said, from what I've seen, I might just not have been exposed to it. But it kind of gives me vibes of Mixer back in the day. Mixer was a service, I forget what it was originally called, but it was purchased by Microsoft and they quickly integrated it into Xbox. It was part of the dashboard. It was easy to get to and watch. It was easy to stream to and build a community on. And the community there was really good. For the most part, it was fun. Obviously super gaming centric. And Kick has a very similar feel at the moment, at least to me. It's small enough that it's easy to start building a community, to be involved in other creators' communities, and to possibly grow with it. And unfortunately, Microsoft decided to dip out on that. It wasn't profitable or something. It wasn't competing very well, I guess. It didn't make a lot of sense at the time. It seemed like it was doing well. There were some interesting names on there, good audiences, but whatever the case is, we're here now. And so Kick has been doing, when you become a partner, they have essentially paid hourly for your streaming. And I believe that it scales with how many viewers you have, something along those lines. Either way, they've set up a new feature where you can toggle it on and off. If you're going to multi-stream to other platforms, and this is really smart on their end, if you are a creator that is on Kick, or perhaps you're already on Twitch or YouTube, but you want to hit a new audience, grow your audience, just give your audience more options for platforms to use at their preference. Kick has the ability to then turn this toggle on that says, hey, I'm multi-streaming. I'm going to another platform, another horizontal platform. And as a partner, which is one of the higher levels of monetization, but still, it allows you to still collect that hourly pay from Kick, however, at a 50% rate, which is fair. They're paying you to be there, so you get a little bit less if you're splitting that time with somewhere else where you might be getting paid or growing your audience. It actually is really cool. They also just added channel points, similar to what Twitch has already. And the cool thing with this, however, is that any creator has access to them, like I do. I have 5 followers on Kick, and I'm hoping to get more. But still, I can already set up channel points, and these are basically a way for viewers to engage with your channel and make it more interactive and fun. So it's just kind of cool. If you haven't been there, check it out, give it a try. There are many content creators who are going to be multi-streaming between platforms. Also, if you're doing this, you can do the dual streaming where you can have your stream on Kick primarily and on a vertical platform, and that does not require a partner to toggle the 50% option. They still get their full cut. So overall, it could be fun. I hope more people give it a try, and we have a third competitor in the space, because the more competition, the better for everyone. So fitness has always been a big subject for me, whether I've done a lot of content on it or not here. I definitely post about it on Instagram occasionally, but just general fitness, and I'm not even talking about like pumping iron, hitting the weights, any of that kind of stuff, anything dramatic, but just general fitness, like being an active and moving human being. Like, to me, that should just be part of life. It shouldn't be something that somebody has to necessarily go put out a ton of effort or thought into doing. However, that's like my own personal perspective. That just seems natural. There are people out there who have lived different lifestyles and had different things happen to them, and they end up in a place where being physically fit, like just as a general rule, like moving, right, is no longer natural to them. And their mind doesn't really comprehend that being just a part of life. And there's, unfortunately, like, it becomes like a major barrier. There was a story that a friend of mine was telling me about a friend / coworker that no longer wants to move, right? They go to work, they sit in a desk chair, they do their job, and they go home and they sit, and they don't really do a whole lot of other movement or action in general. And when they tried to talk to them about, like, losing some weight, because this person is somewhat overweight, that person basically cites the fact that they're in pain. And that is pretty common. Like, there's somebody that I know that's like close to me that's in a similar situation. They have the option to potentially get knee surgery, right? To fix something, an injury, and get into a position where they're more capable of moving around and doing things. However, they need to lose weight to do so. And they will say, well, I'm in pain. If I move around, if I walk, if I do this or that, it hurts. And it's like self-defeating cycle where you've decided that, well, I don't want to deal with this pain, therefore I don't do things. But the doing things would then contribute to, if not completely solve, the pain. And so you continue to choose to not do anything. Therefore, the weight and the inactivity slowly but surely makes it so every time you do move or do anything, the pain is even worse, and therefore you do less, and then so on and so forth. So, as non-judgmental as I can be, because again, these are choices. Even though there is pain, even though there is a level of discomfort, it's still a choice. Like the information is there. You've been given options. Do something, endure a little pain or a lot of pain. I'm not trying to minimize, but endure the pain and end up solving a lot of that pain for yourself, feeling better. And not only that, but just being able to live a better life in general, besides being relegated to a chair or to a couch or a bed or whatever it is, and just not getting up and moving and enjoying life to the fullest. So I'm trying to say this in a way for like an average normal person who's not hitting the gym 5 days a week and spending 8 to 10 hours of their, basically like a part-time job to be fit and healthy. Just get up and move. You've got to do something. You've got to walk up and down your driveway. You've got to go walk around the block. It doesn't matter how fast or slow or how far or how many times. You've got to do it once. And that one time may be uncomfortable. It may not be your favorite thing ever. But you know what? You're going to get out and you're going to smell fresh air. You're going to hear birds chirping. You might see a dog running around in a yard. Like, you'll see other human beings out doing things. And that alone, just getting out and enjoying those things, it leaves an impression basically that, oh, there was something positive that happened here. And then again, even though there might be some discomfort or pain while doing that and after, you will feel better. Your joints are meant to move and create, lubrication. Your body, your blood vessels, your heart, these things are meant to be exercised to feel good. So you'll do it that one time, and then you'll do it more maybe next time, or you'll just keep doing it day after day, and eventually you will feel results and you'll feel better and you'll just live a better life. Sometimes I leave the sports segments as the third segment on Weekly Takes because I do have fans that follow me. I don't even refer to them as fans, but people who follow me that don't like sports or actively oppose sports for whatever reason. But anyways, the NFL draft is coming up. It's going to be an interesting time. I'm both super excited for it and super sick of waiting for it. I want it to be over with, to be honest. And it's not because I don't enjoy going into work every single day and doing mock drafts with my coworkers as I'm running around serving tables and, etc. That's actually kind of fun. It's been a neat thing to be involved in, besides all the regular banter and, oh, hey, did you see this? Or hey, there's an opinion about this. Oh, look, Derek Carr has a shoulder thing, so suddenly the Saints might be back into looking at a quarterback, etc. That kind of stuff is fun, right? It passes the time. It's interesting. It's a cool way to bond with other sports fans that you work with. And honestly, it really has helped the last 3 months go by a lot quicker. I haven't had that kind of involvement with coworkers and such before. This year has been pretty nice for that. So, NFL draft on the way. Obviously, I'm a Jacksonville Jaguars fan. Have been since the beginning. There are multiple other teams I pay attention to. I actually posted on Twitter before. I might put it up on my Instagram or probably on here shortly before the draft. But I have kind of a hierarchy for how I root for or pay attention to teams. There's the Jacksonville Jaguars, and then basically the NFC Florida team. There's the Tampa Bay Bucks. So I love them. I like to watch them. Baker Mayfield's awesome. Bucky Irving had an incredible year. So I have always paid attention to them as well because they are the other league Florida team, right? So I don't care about the Dolphins. They're watchable, but they're there as well in the AFC, and I'm a Jags fan. So stepping down from the Bucks, there's for whatever reason both LA teams. With the Rams, I know it's because of growing up as a kid watching The Greatest Show on Turf. Kurt Warner, Marshall Faulk, Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt, Ricky Prohl, Azahar Hakim. That's just the offense. They had guys on defense as well. Obviously, I believe it was Mike Green. Jones, excuse me, making the tackle in the Super Bowl that saved the win for them against the Titans. But I loved that era, watched them, and ever since I've always had an interest in them. Matthew Stafford is somebody I've always liked. They've got a great team down there, well-run organization in general. So I root for them. With the Chargers, it's always been, back in the day, Drew Brees started there. Actually, before even Brees, there was Doug Flutie. People forget about that, but Doug Flutie, loved Drew Brees. Then Drew Brees moved on to the Saints. Phillip Rivers came in. He was exciting and fun to watch. So just in general, that's always been a couple teams I like to watch. And now they're both in LA, so instead of St. Louis and San Diego. And then there's this kind of mishmash of teams kind of in the middle that I'll root for them depending on players and scenario and who they are playing. And then there's teams I just don't give a crap about. And then at the bottom, you've got the teams I just hate. And that's basically the rest of the AFC South. So the Colts, Texans, and Titans. And then the Kansas City Chiefs. But anyways, with the draft coming up, there's going to be multiple teams that I'm interested in watching. I fully believe Ashton Jeanty should go top 5. I'm a Boise State fan. I did spend 16 years of my life up in Boise. Ashton Jeanty is a phenomenon that will immediately give an identity or add to the identity to an offense or an entire team. And I would love to see him in Jacksonville. Like, yeah, I know ETN's there, but Bigsby's there. Could be a good, solid second running back. I just think that above and beyond both of those, you have an immediate star on the team that immediately elevates the offense and Trevor Lawrence and everything that's going on down in Jacksonville. So I'm hoping, against hope, as they say, that Jacksonville's smart and decides to pull him in at number 5. However, if they don't, there's great other options out there that we could definitely use. Mason Graham is one, but I'm interested to see where he goes. If he goes somewhere like the Raiders or the Saints or Denver, etc., those are teams that I could watch, and I would definitely root for him to succeed. There's teams I won't be rooting for if he gets to them, like, say, the Cowboys, but I would personally root for him. But I tell you what, the fact that nobody has changed positions in the first round of the NFL draft at this point, I think this is the furthest it's ever gotten, tells me either everybody's pretty happy picking where they are, and that's mostly what we're going to see, or on draft day itself, there's going to be some insane movement or like crazy blockbuster swapping of draft picks that's going to happen. So it's going to be exciting, and it's only 4 days away. So